Newsfirst Newsline with Faraz Shaukat Ali.
And a jolly good morning to you. This is Newsline, live from the Newsfirst studios in Dawson Street in Colombo and broadcasting on TV1, part of the Capital Maharaja Group. And this morning, to discuss a variety of matters from ICTA to ETCA, from the bonds to the independence of the judiciary, and about misinformation and misleading the public. How easily is it done, misleading the public? To discuss this and a bit more is Mr. Pratibha Mahanamaheva. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
And you're, of course, the former Commissioner of the Human Rights Council, Sri Lanka. Now then, Mr. Mahanamaheva, what's going on? We've got ICTA, before that we had ECTA, and then we've had the bond, and we have the bond, and we have the bond. And we have a whole list of, we have the tyre factory, we had the Volkswagen factory, which turns out to be nothing more than a hoax. They were given away 25 acres. They thought it was 100 before. The tyre man's given 100 plus acres. And now we're told that our frequencies, the airwaves, are being sold to, we've lost control about it, to some private company. Why should, and in between all this, what's happening to the TRC? We're told that the TRC hasn't even allocated and given away the spectrum. So what's going on? Why so much of misinformation?
Where should I start?
How about starting with what Google themselves called a loony project? That's why it was called Loon, because it was so absolutely amazing what they were trying to do. And that was, of course, the Google Loon project. Now that Loon is a spin-off of the word loony, loony, crazy. So what's going on? Which one?
I would like to commence in with Microsoft chairman former, Bill Gates.
Right.
What we said, Bloomberg magazine, 2013, August 8th, he gave an interview. In that interview, Bill Gates clearly stated, this Google loan project never help, never assist poorest in a country. And this is not a project basically to assist poorest. The issue, digital dividends and digital revolution, he liked very much. Okay. But the project, how it connected. Let's start like this. Google, one company, we are in Sri Lanka. So who is connecting Google to Sri Lanka? That is where 2015 July, there was a Sri Lankan billionaire, Samat Palihapitiya, who visited Sri Lanka. And he thought this is the best country to test. This was tested in 4 countries. Right. New Zealand, same as Sri Lanka, the balloon crashed. Australia, they had an issue. And Indonesia also, they had an issue. So they are trying and they are investigating. So anyway, Sri Lanka is the best they thought. They started with a test. Now let's see my explanation. Google company and Sri Lanka, bridging company, Rama Corporation. What is this Rama Corporation?
Yes, I was about to ask you, what is Rama?
Yeah, Rama Corporation. Who are the people? Lot of complications are there with this Rama Corporation, not in here, in USA also. So whether Sri Lanka, even there is a parliament committees, high delegation committees, even the secretary, whether they know what is this Rama Corporation. This is where ICTA come into force. Right. Now, ICTA is playing a major role here. Now, Google company as well as Sri Lanka, there must be a connectivity. I mean, these are good concepts because we need, everyone need this type of fast internet.
Yes.
But what is behind this? Is it a profitable one for Sri Lanka government? Frequency today with TRC. Now that's why million of rupees Sri Lanka earn with other telecos. But with this, I'll explain what is going to happen. Now Google and Sri Lanka government, there is another company going to create. We don't know what is the company. Now there is a MOU signed between this Google company and ICTA. So have you ever seen that MOU? How the frequencies are going to, distribute? Now, according to the information gathered, this company, a new company going to set up.
Yeah.
25% government shareholders,
Yeah.
10% telecos. Who are the other shareholders? Now we have RTI Act. Anyone can ask information. This is a very good time for civil society and anti-corruption movements. Get the MOU out. Ask who are the shareholders and also how they are going to do it. This is simply billion of rupees Sri Lanka, billion of dollars we are missing. Why? Frequency decided by that company. So to sell this frequency, it can be a biggest issue and one day it will become a threat to national security. So Sri Lanka, where are the policies? Sri Lanka, we have not seen any telecommunication or any other thing. Policies are important. That's why these companies are trying to enter for us Sri Lanka, because there are lack of policies and they try to come up with the setting up of a company. And also this failed project, the Google loan balloon, which crashed to Gampola.
Now you say that it was crashed, but we have the minister in charge of the subject who says that it was a controlled descent.
Absolutely, that is misleading information.
Misleading information.
You follow the Google as well as other statements and the websites. The main thing, even they are unaware until this crash to Gampola. Have they surveilled it? Have they monitored it? How this Google balloon is moving and where they are going to land? No idea. After crashed only, people inform police. If you knew that the landing place earlier, because Google Maps are there, they were unaware. So that is the biggest issue. No plan. This is not only in Sri Lanka. It happened in New Zealand. So New Zealand, when the balloon crashed, everyone thought it's a plane crash. So suddenly several helicopters went to save the people there. But finally they found this is a Google balloon. So the awareness was not there.
But also when you talk about what Bill Gates said, of course this is a competitor speaking.
Yes.
So should we take much notice of
No,
what Bill
you should not
saying?
make. But Bill Gates say one thing. If a person die in malaria, see the balloon, what is the solution given? He say, do certain things for non-profit or even healthcare, education. Those are the most important things. Now what they are going to do for us, actually they sell these frequencies, not for this type of welfare, not for this type of benefit. That's why Bill Gates' argument, I am 100% not agree with that, but there is some concept behind that. So even I have not seen the MOU. I have not seen the cooperation. I am not sure about who are the basic shareholders. You know, the CEO, I think IPTA, he said one thing: if this project fail, I'll be going to resign. So that is an open statement in a press conference.
Has he resigned yet?
I think that they are going to, he has asked for another extension. So this is the issue. So whatever the promise we give must be basically done with the good governance principle. Are they happening? So these are a lot of issues where I have seen. So we can discuss many things because frequencies are much worth. Let's take India. Why can't they enter India? Why they always enter Sri Lanka? This is the biggest issue. India policies there. Telecommunication minister, last time he was arrested and kept in jail. But how many, allegations are there for former and present ministers? Anyone in prison? Anyone in prison? No. Just a simple thing. Misuse of vehicles. Misuse of vehicles. Other than that, still the investigations are going on. 2 years taken. The simple thing is bond scam. Let's see what's happened. They want to drag it. Now, a commission, give money. A commission appointed by president. And then there are internal investigation, civil and criminal, and then COPE report is there. Simple one thing, get the COPE report, submit it to Honorable Attorney General, and start prosecution. So what this commission, and I have another problem. If court give one judgment, commission is giving another one, which one supreme? That is the biggest problem. So policy makers must be very careful to respect the judiciary system in the country without appointing these commissions.
Now, that's a good point that you raised, Mr. Manamheva. Now, we have the second highest court in the country, the appeal court, that's made an order. It's made its judgment. And what we have, instead of complying with the judgment, and if you don't like it, there is another avenue.
Absolutely.
Another legal avenue, which is the road to the Supreme Court. Now, instead of doing that, part of them are going there, but instead of doing that, we have people who think that they can exercise their right, their democratic right to protest, and then cause absolute mayhem on the roads. Is that fair? When the court has said, this is it, you do this, how fair is it for the people to jump up and start shouting instead of going to the appeal process, which is to go to the Supreme Court? And then, is this politics? Is this why the people are coming and shouting and hoping that they can usurp the powers of the appeal court of that decision by coming forward? What is your take?
Yes, for us, there is only one incident. Let me explain a little bit later. There are several incidents.
Yeah.
So this is the incident we have seen much.
Yeah.
It has two aspects. Number one, the judiciary system, whether people trust. That is the biggest issue. So this new government, they promised to establish rule of law. Rule of law means basically what is going on there, independence of judiciary. That is a big issue now. A lawyer practicing, going to appoint to High Court. I don't know whether appointed or not. So many judges are really desperate with this. If these things are continuing as previously, what is the independence of judiciary? I'll come to your point. That is where a very bad precedent. If Court of Appeal delivered a judgment, there is a way. If you are really unhappy with the judgment, there is a way, and you can go to Supreme Court finally. Now, what people expected, what student expected, that is the issue. Whatever the popular expectations may not be reflected with the judgment. That's why, let me explain.
Yeah.
That is not the issue. So we have to see justice there and justice also practicing. I 100 obey this Court of Appeal judgment. So therefore, a way is there to nullify or even to appeal or to change that.
Yeah.
So those things are there. But who come to street and who start protest against that? Actually, I think they are not protesting against the judgment sometimes. They may be in a view, sometimes an institution going to establish, so they show their protest. That's why President also called all the parties, GMO and other dental association, as much as many associations, come up with your basic things. This should have done not today. Early provisions were there, but now only these things are happening, where judiciary one side giving a decision and one side people are coming to street. No one should take law into their hand. That is the basic principle. That's the basic principle.
But now, what on the one side we say that we have an independent and robust judiciary, and that we don't need foreign judges to look into the allegations of whatever these claims are. Now then, when the outside world sees this happening, they're going to hold their sides laughing. Because they're going to say, well, if you have that, then why is this happening? So what are they going to do? If the judgments given are not favorable to whoever, then are those people going to cause havoc on the streets and protest? This is not very far from anarchy.
Definitely.
Isn't it serious?
Before that, I'll explain one thing. From 2015-2016, what happened to our bribery and corruption index? From 2015-2016, rule of law project, international jurist, where we are now. So it is the indication, internationally, not I am saying this, so international organization. So last time in 2014, when the index came down, people came to street. Civil society started all these demonstrations. But where are the civil society now? Our index are collapsing down, but they are so silent. So I think civil society also now may be in one side of the government. That's my interpretation. Where you ask one question, internationally, now Geneva session starting this 24th. All these issues are, lead to this position. So then once again what will happen, whatever the resolution passed, now you have to implement. So that's why you are asking these foreign judges or hybrid judges or observers, that we have to show as a country what we have done. But the real issue, practically these indexes are highly going up. So then internationally, once again, we are coming up with the pressure. On the other side, if any judgment given, there is a way to legally react. But you are going for extra legal activities, extra legal actions. If these things are continuing, that is where the experience we have seen, as you said perfectly, it can go to some other way. So we have to see one thing, that is where people, if they have to react, they also must have a good governance system. You need elections. Now the biggest issue is municipality council election. How can you run? There is a Supreme Court also case going on, right? So 2 years, 3 years, dragging like this, what will happen? So people are sometimes distressed, frustrated. To show their anger, even for a judgment, they will come to street. Not only for one thing, they are waiting for certain. Today, not the project loan balloon. Can you buy rice? Can you buy rice?
But now, to be fair, they've controlled the price now.
The control price is there. Can you buy? You see the big queues in Satoshi. No, it is never happened. Policy makers can take decisions, but these should come to the ground level. You go to the ground level. And Consumer Affairs Authority officers, everyday officials go and rate. They also have a lot of evidence. So issues are escalating like that. To show your displeasure, if anyone comes to street, others will follow. This situation can be controlled only by the government. Only by the government.
By doing what? By delivering on their
delivering
promises?
Whatever the promises you say, whatever the benefits you must give. See the lottery 20, it increased to 4. So people displeasure. Everywhere this situation is happening. So what you have to do, the anger, one place, it can mold up. So if students are coming, it is sometimes people you can't stop. So I am not anyway blaming for court system in the country, but the governance system must understand people aspects, and whatever you have promised, you must deliver. Whatever in the election period, you can buy a car, vote for us. Now tell me how much is a car? Why these misleading information? Why these misleading notices are there?
But
politicians think people are foolish. No, they will come in one step.
Well, clearly they do think that, because in March 2015, the Prime Minister sent a note to all his ministers about the procurement processes. And in there, very clearly in that cabinet paper, it says very clearly that unsolicited bids should not be accepted as a matter of policy.
Correct.
That was in March 2015, towards the end of March. Not even 3 weeks later, they awarded a contract to the same company to do with the Outer Circular Highway, to the same company that they had previously accused of being part of a 90% commission, 10% work outfit.
Okay.
Now this same outfit was given another road contract, another part of it, without a tender process. It was given by negotiation. So there you go, within 3 weeks. So it seems, and the list is endless. I've got a list here. I can name at least 12 items. Same sort of thing where governance has failed. So how easy is it to mislead the public with misinformation?
The issue is this. What you preach, what you promise, what you pledge, practically you may not do it. When you exercising certain powers, the practical scenario you have to understand. So that's why all these things are coming to one place.
Yeah.
Now I will explain one thing. I will link this to Google loan project also. Look here, the frequency also, once again, it's a bidding process. It's a bidding process. It's an auction. So can you trust who will come as brokers for that also? Whatever you have some type of, allegations, let them temporarily suspend. Even employee in your company having any type of charge, they suspend or interdict and start the investigation, inquiry. Nothing has happened. Now only the central bank governor also said temporary some of these limitations are coming up for that company, but still it is exercising. Now what is the giving basic advice by the cabinet also? We have to really understand, when you come into force, there are certain behind aspects. You have to work up according to a plan. So that's why this IMF plan was given for the custom new ordinance, new act, new bill. Yeah. So that's why even one minister, two ministers, they really protested that in the cabinet. Therefore, Prime Minister has to, delay that or to drag it. Few people are there like that. Mm-hmm. Even in a cabinet, they have a backbone. They said, no, if you introduce this, what will happen finally? So privatization, selling, these are the concepts. Even they don't know how to present that into a cabinet. Normally, in a national government like this, even cabinet ministers are protesting, even for their same colleagues. I think that is a good example where you have to think that once again. But that is not happening. Even after, same thing. You saw what happened to the economic development bill. All these chief ministers were there in London. So you give a trip, you know really whatever the requirements they need. So this is not politics, these are not policies. To run a country, even you must think, not yourself first. All these people must think to do something to serve this country with honesty. If you are not honest, if you are looking for other things, even some people are thinking today, after this government, we may not come into politics. So therefore they try to do same thing exercise. Whatever the name change, but we have not changed our practice, our culture. It's still existing. That's why this index shows.
That's why we've dropped below in the corruption perception index.
Definitely. Otherwise, if good practices were inculcated from 2015, 8 January up to 2007, nothing has happened. The issue is this.
Plenty has happened. Plenty has happened. All the corruptions.
Yeah. Now I'll see another example I'll give. Even before magistrate give the deliver, sometimes in the opposition parliament members are saying, he will be arrested this day, he will be granted bail this day, he will be in jail this day. Everything. How come? This is also a threat to the independence of the judiciary. Before delivering anything, so these things
but are to be fair, Mr. Maname, for the public to think that, they've got plenty of evidence. When we hear that the governor of the central bank saying that part of that matter is being really referred to the police, to the IGP, you stand back and say, really? But the IGP is the same person who said that he wouldn't arrest somebody. He assured some senior caller, he was senior because he said sir and so on. But that was ahead of an investigation. So the IGP has said ahead of an investigation that somebody's not going to get arrested. So how do we, the public, know that the same will not happen with the bond matter?
Before that, I will ask one thing. We have a national, independent, public police commission. Police commission had done anything. Even the chairman not there now. He has also resigned. To control police independency, we have a National Police Commission for us. That National Police Commission said they will publish a report with regard to the IGPs, whatever the behavior. Has it happened? Do you think these independent commissions are independent now? Are these commissions independent? Even Director General of a commission resigned. So these are only words for us. 19th Amendment, practical scenario, only words. So therefore, IGP or anyone, if he is acting like that, let's control them. Let's monitor them and inform this independent, whatever the Constitution Council. These are all rubber stamps. So finally what we'll think, as you said perfectly, if the investigation given, how can we expect the independence? These are the issues. So that's why when I started this program, I said, COPE had investigated, they have collected all evidence. So evidence now passed to Honorable Attorney General. So Attorney General will decide whether there is a case or not. So prosecution part must be there. But now some commission appointed, retired judges, and there is another inquiries going on. So commission give one decision, inquiry say one decision, Attorney General one decision. What will happen finally? RTI, can we ask this information? I'll give a simple example. In Kurunagal area, one student was not admitted. This the Dinamina reporter informed me this morning. We asked from Education Department under the RTI Act, we need information why this student was not admitted, and before they have done to school. Yeah. And they have published a lot of articles, and ministry also accepted, yes. But now what they have taken? Still we don't have information. So this is the scenario. Every ministry secretary or additional secretary is the information officer.
The de facto information officer.
The issue is this. People are suffering. Even these laws are there.
But do the politicians care that the people are suffering?
They don't care. Even information you get, what you are going to do? Are you going to sell the information, or are you going to file a case, or are you going to bribery commission? RTI is good, but implementing, there must be the process. But the process is safe. Having information is not sufficient. What you are going to do with the information? Next stage, you go for a case. Go for a case or go for bribery and corruption, still investigation are dragging for a long time period. So this culture has to be changed. This culture has to be changed.
There are a listener, a viewer, is saying that there are the Elections Commissioner sent over 300 cases for the bribery to file action on non-submission of assets declarations. Okay. Do you think they will do it?
My understanding, they may not. Because still, politicians are powerful. There are some ministers. How many times they were summoned to bribery and corruption commission? Have they responded? If opposition member summoned, not reported, directly you go for where Supreme Court you report. So do you think, take my example and these examples, the issue is this. Whatever the government today trying, any member coming from opposition or even any government minister to protect. So this is where Chief Justice former Sarathan Silva is liable. He is the person who paved the way to cross from one party to another party in the parliament. So there is a way. So the politicians know this. They actually take in that opportunity. So the question is directly I am saying, I have no trust and confidence file a case even until 2020. Because they need people. Even Election Commissioner has said. So mandatory they can go and investigation. But if you are highly in the opposition, maybe opposition members sometimes they can start investigating. So that is the scenario. That's right.
So when you lecture your students on law and so on, what are you saying to them?
As a law lecturer, senior law lecturer, always I say, do the right things, obey law, respect rule of law, respect fundamental human rights. As a teacher, I can explain that. But these students also one day practice as lawyers or government officials. They are also coming up to this system. Maybe sometime the education system also little bit weak. This should start not from university level teaching law. It should start from at least grade 5 from college. National Education Commission having a great work to do it. Law-abiding citizens, not from the universities. It should be start from your school days. Then only I think the culture or whatever we can shape in this country.
Just very quickly to this Loon project. Just to be pointed out that the TRC hasn't actually allocated this spectrum of frequencies.
Correct.
So how can this company, whichever, what did you say, Rama Corporation?
Rama Corporation.
Well, how can they bypass the TRC? There's a kind of impunity. You see it everywhere. Nobody has ever explained, nobody, except in the Ministry of Finance, who've said that Arjuna Mahendran is not employed by the Ministry of Finance. They didn't tell us whether he was present at various meetings by invitation. Is he a consultant? What is he doing? He seems to be lost in the corridors of power, and he's just moving in from one committee room to another. So why isn't anyone explaining it? Don't we have a right to know? We have a right to know, right?
Definitely we have a right to know.
But now if under this right to information, who do we write to find out about the status of Arjuna Mahendran? Do we have to write to all the ministries?
No. definitely you have to write to central bank. But there is an issue. RTI, there are exemptions. Central bank, whatever the transaction, you have no right to question. And also if you ask a question, basically what will happen? They may not disclose. But in the RTI Act, there is another provision. If it is benefited for people, you must disclose.
That
but
is the overriding national.
Yeah, India there is a case. India also same like that. India Supreme Court case. Here, central bank must disclose that. So finally, once again, we have to go to Supreme Court. So whatever the transaction which happened in that period, one and only we can ask from two places. One is Treasury and also Minister of Finance and the central bank. My understanding, you have to ask from central
What
bank.
about the minister in charge of the subject of the central bank, which is the Minister of Economic Development, and also known as the Prime Minister?
Now it has to be a public body, public institution. So in a public institution, rather than the minister, definitely the secretary to that ministry.
So we can write to that person and that secretary
definitely.
say
No need to write. Even you can give a phone call.
All
if
right.
not responding, there is an independent commission. I don't know that commission also like that. Right? So you have to give it. If not giving, then we have a chance to go to Supreme.
So the public needs to get activated now.
Definitely. I urge from general public, if you have any information, please write and get. Please write and get like India. This should go not in Colombo. District level, RTI activities must
So it must go viral.
That's right. Definitely.
The people must...
More and more information you ask. Please ask why your kid was not admitted to grade 1, even you are fulfilling the qualification. That is one information you can get. Then you can go for human right case or fundamental right case or even any other time.
Pratibha Mahanamaheva, thank you very much for being on Newsline. Been an entertaining morning. Thank you very much. And we wish you a great week ahead. In the meantime, take care and God bless.